See ya! I pushed 50 opponents off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. They scratch, walking our sense, harmony flows to the best of lands. In the neon glow, where is best, the culture rich, where is sense, even more no grace. We'll dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just got myself an AS valve already.
near the moonlit nights.
Alrighty, guys. Let's get ourselves going. I know I said 3:45. I had a couple things I needed to do, and unfortunately, we are not. We are going to be doing something that you guys are going to really not like, or I shouldn't say not really like, but more or less, we're going to be changing up a couple of things throughout the stream itself, the company itself. We are going to be shifting, I said I was gonna do this. I said this to myself last night that I was gonna switch the company out from here, but that when I did a little bit of testing and found that if you're gonna do the install Australia, you need to uninstall Australia because it is got a lot of cracks and crevices and broken up mumble jumbo. I was going to bring in a Volvo FH6 in here with the 780. That didn't happen. That's not gonna happen. That's why I'm loading up this older save. And there's this reason is because I am just gonna move the company out of Australia and per se is what we're going to do. But I don't know why it's taking forever to load. Actually, I'm going to take and show you guys that, and then I was like, you know what, and then I changed my mind. I ended up changing my mind. I ended up changing my mind on that. I was gonna think about, oh, I'm just gonna move the company out of Australia, uninstall it, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it. Sorry, I went to go back an extra one because of it, but I ended up deciding not to do that. I ended up saying, you know what? We're just going to do things now. We have got some things that are basically. Right now, if you wanted to focus on in a game like this, or in a game, Right now, I wanted to tell you guys, I am taking a trip. I'm taking the rest of my little trip. It's still like whatever. It's not on the right side of the map. These things aren't properly set up. I am thinking about maybe we try the non-pro mods version and we go with um just other the other map, but we will see. But anyway, um there is a lot of things coming down the pipeline for Euro Truck and American Truck. We'll get into that today as well as getting into some politics through um, Trump mostly. Um, and we will get into some other things as well that are going to primarily be the primary focus for today. Is mostly primarily focusing on what is going on with Japan as well. And I'm going to get into a little bit of talking about it. Um, and I'm going to tell you, it's like, I don't like to get into drama, uh, or into things that are, going to cause somebody else to really, do it, unless it's related to somebody in official office, um, for it. But one of the things that I wanted to really change and really preface is that when you look at Japan itself, um, and some other topics that we'll probably end up talking about, but when you look at Japan, um, Japan is going to be something that you can't really expect to listen or go to Japan and really um, put Japan as a thing that, you know, um, there's a lot of things you can't really make um, on these issues where, you know, Japan is problematic and I know, but I have um, where there's this thing where, you know, it's basically um, where basically we had this issue of basically that there's been a lot of contention going on with a couple creators going on out around in Japan, and we're gonna also get at vehicle crash because I did not see you there. I was not paying attention. Um, where Japan is basically, this is a hot button issue for a lot of people. For me, I don't know a lot about what's going on except for that I just wanted to mention first off that Trump did go visit Japan. I have not seen anything on it per se. Um, but there is this thing that when you go and you visit Japan, um, that you're seeing a lot of this graffiti, seeing a lot of these things, but I don't know how truthful these things are because I've never visited. Um, and which one is it? Okay, so it's actually this side. I'm just gonna confirm there, and we're gonna just basically go on from here to that. But to be honest, you look at Chris Abroad and Oriental Pearl, it's still, you have his video still up there, and he still mentions Oriental Pearl, because you can tell, you can't hide the fact that this is going on. Um, that's just going back. There, it's going to Russia. Okay, let me see about the cargo. Okay. Okay, so it's actually going to Norway from here. And that's giving me more money. Okay. Well, you know what? We will set that. Unless, let me check to see if it's here. Yes, it is. We'll take this one. Um. But the thing is with these things, it's like you gotta see both sides, and you gotta see both sides of the issue. That, you know, with what's going on between both creators. Now, both of them are not Japanese creators, of course. They're one's a American, one's a European creator. Oops. That white turning. Gotta make some of those wide turns to get out and about. But as you can see, I darn hate the Darny, darny, darn, 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 darn. Um, where one of the things you can get yourself into hot water within Japan for just going after somebody. Um, like you can go to court for it. If you defamation a business, um, which does include when you defame a business. Um, in Japan, you can get yourself into some hot trouble because to really get into the problem and the focus of these issues that happen, like, you know, defamate, like going after the both sides. Like I've watched Chris Abroad, and I've pretty much watched Oriental, and I pretty much watched John from Only in Japan and Life Where I'm From. You know, um, and going around about way of utilizing the uh, going about it, utilizing titles that'll clickbait you, that'll basically make it feel like that you are like you shouldn't really be using clickbait titles to get people in. Like I basically I don't do that with myself either. Sometimes I do miss talking about a topic, but guess what? Or I don't try to clickbait people into these videos. And there's a reason why I don't. Like, I don't come in and use those titles to catch people to come in. I try to make it as informative as I can within some context where, you know, like today, like I'm talking about the Japan thing, that it's one of those things where I haven't really dug into understanding a lot of the nuances of Japan, and understanding that Japan is a country that has, look, Japan is a country that has problems too, just like the United States. There's homelessness, there are not only homelessness, but there is these things, but it is slowly declining in Japan. But is that really truthfully going on? Because you might not see it a lot, because they might be hiding it and putting it in behind these places, and I'm like, they could be hiding the crime, hiding these formative things, but a lot of times when, you know, you see graffiti, well, guess what? Graffiti happens in the United States too. Yeah. Might happen in the United States for graffiti and things, and it happens everywhere. You may go in and see YouTube And you may look at people coming who's watching them, content creators who live in America, who are showing America as a good place to live. They're showing you places like it's absolutely a fantastic place. You should come. You should and visit. You should absolutely take that time to visit, but or even come to stay. But the problem is that's only what you see. Is you only see the good parts of of the United States. You only see what's coming out as a good thing in the United States. Seeing what's good and what's actually here, and that's what you really look at John, and you look at the Oriental Pearl, and you look at Only in Japan, and all these other creators. I even Life Where I'm From. I pretty much watch all four of I've watched all four of them. I don't watch I don't watch Life From Where I'm From, and I don't watch a lot of Oriental Pearl. I don't watch a lot of uh, who's the other one? Uh, Chris Abroad. I only watch Only Japan now. And primarily, I even barely watch it now because I'm more focused on what's going on in my own country right now. And like when you go and you paint somebody and you go and you focus on a lot of like I said, these platforms, you got to realize that what they're showing you is only what you really want to see. And look, I'm going to tell you, it's like the same thing with Fox News. Okay, it's the same thing when you go and look at CBS or NBC or looking at all of these things. You want to hear what you want to hear. You don't want to be willingness to change. I've changed a lot over the years where my view on things, like I used to heavily watch mainstream media, heavily invested into mainstream. I'm not heavily invested into mainstream media. I'm heavily invested into independent media now, and independent people talking on what some of these things are. You know, I'll tell you, I don't actively look into I don't look into activities or look into um, the instance of mainstream because, you know, sometimes like I don't, and most of the time I'm like I just don't want to. I just want to hear that. But it's like, you know, but and you know, I'm also somebody that just kind of would listen to CNN or occasionally would listen to a Fox News thing, but I never really paid attention to a lot of what mainstream and a lot of these people are saying. You know, I never really got into a lot of politics, into things. Look, in 2016, like, I kind of never was really into politics in 2016. I was never really into politics in 2016. Never really, um, as much into it. I was still kind of did my civic duty and voted. Um, I probably did my civic duty and voted. I probably voted for Trump twice, Trump in 2016, and I probably voted for Trump in 2020. I voted for him at least twice. Thought he was somebody that was thought he was a absolutely a person that would have voted for would have supported the LGBTQ community, somebody that that was a beacon of light. Like, I thought he was somebody that was going to be willing to help the community, and no, that so oh, okay. It looks like we are going to Wagano, but I don't get why it's sending me that way to Wagano. Um, when so if I were to say oh, so it adds here, and then we can add this exclusion zone. Okay, so trip time. Okay, okay. Now, trip time here is going to take us 164 for that trip time. Okay. It's going to take us a total, if we followed that point. If we followed that, it's only going to take us 41 in trip time. So, we'll do this. I want to take the least amount of friction. Do we go down to Jakarta? Halangi? Or do we go to China? So we go to Dallin. Okay. Dallin Port, China. And then that's Thailand. And now, by boat, now we go by now we need to go by this is where we gotta pay a closer attention to where we go. Um but it's one of those things, that you go from point A to point B, or you go from point A to point C, or whatever you do when you're looking at wanting to learn about something. you know it's not like you should go and say you should have only listened to news section news A, which is when you listen to news A, you shouldn't go and listen to that news. That news when that news has basically said, hey, um, oh yeah, I forgot. Looky here. I forgot completely that when you come this way, that um, in order to get around the issue of the gates not opening, you're gonna have to go around and hit these guys. Um, and this is they don't give you um this is part of the area. I think this is where part of it is on it. We're gonna get some repairing done, but the thing of it is you know a lot of things go on and on and on and on and on about the the situation when you stick to listening to just one. You're only gonna get that issue. If you want to sit there and okay, so we're gonna do what's recommended and then do that. Um, where you only want to listen to right-leaning content. It's like I go and sit and I said I want to sit there and listen to always wanting to listen to left-leaning content wherever I'm going. But guess what? I'm not on all social media and listening to everything social media has to offer. Like I have left-leaning content creators I watch on Instagram and left-leaning content creators on TikTok and these things, but I'm not sitting there. If I'm gonna listen to anything, I'm gonna sit there and listen to David Pakman, or I'm gonna listen to these people and not be on social media like that. I'm trying, like, it's one of those things where I'm not gonna sit there and listen to that media on different platforms. I follow the same creators on both these platforms. Um, but it's the thing of it is like you don't want to just have um the same media atmosphere that you get all the time. Like I don't know why I get um and sometimes I'll get something that I read um you know I will sit and read uh from uh I will sit and read from any news article pretty much, really. As long as it doesn't seem like it's putting Trump in the limelight. Um and that's what I do. And that's all I do. I pretty much stick to listening to this way because I don't want to be always um it's kind of like I don't listen to really CBS News. I don't really listen to a lot of these things because a lot of times it's just not great to be listening to these things. A lot of times I'm just listening to LGBTQ content. on TikTok. That's where the most of the thing I get is I only listen to LGBTQ or some of these other things that aren't left-leaning content necessarily. They aren't necessarily um, these bad um, things within the within it. Like, I'm not gonna sit out there and just sit there and listen to everything left. I go to Facebook. I get some left-leaning content because I follow it, but I don't get it as a full content. Like, I don't go and sit and watch on Facebook and get left-leaning stuff completely. Like, I do get some content that's not even American English content. I'm getting content from outside of the country that are just like really stupid stuff that I don't want to be seeing on Facebook, but I get it anyways. You know, I get stuff that's related to Harry Potter and I don't want to see it. You know, but I end up getting it. It's all because what I do is I mostly on Instagram I mostly get some left-leaning content, but I also get some things that are not. Some things are clothing related. Some things are of that nature that it's what I get, and that's all I get. I don't get it anywhere else. Um, you know, and so I just listen to a few of these other places that, and that's all I get. And most of the time, I am not always listening to political content 24/7. Like some people will listen to it like on its entirety. It's like today, it's like I was going to sit there and watch a series on it was a docuseries um called Trans in a Trump Land. And if you don't know what it is, you guys can go and watch. Hold the phone. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. But some of it is not related to specifically towards one person or another. I mean, what I was saying, it's not one or the other when I basically pick on a portion of the meat of my social media. Like, and even then, like, a lot of times it's related to Fortnite or it's related to gaming in some way, or I get a variety of things. I'm not sitting there listening to political content absolutely 24/7. I only do this most of the time before I start streaming, and and it's getting into this thing where, you know, watching, and then sometimes I'll sit and watch LGBTQ stuff like that one Trump and Transland that you guys can go and watch for free through Tubi or on the other platforms, Apple or Amazon. Um, and I'll tell you, it's I thought it was like a 4 episodes initially, but it's actually a full-on series on a lot of these things. Like, yeah, there are going to be times where there are going to be criminals out there. There's criminals in everywhere you go. Whatever label you put somebody with, there's going to be a criminal out there. Trust me. There are some MAGA people out there that aren't criminals, but then there are also MAGA people that have committed crimes and actually were criminals, and And then there are a lot of times where you go and you look at Democrats. There are some Democrats out there, right leaning, that have committed crimes. It doesn't matter who it is. And for Trump to even say that oh, we shouldn't be talking about the Epstein files, we should be talking about it. It's like, if you don't want to be talking about the Epstein files, then let's talk about all the crimes you're committing right now. He doesn't he wants to paint Democrats as as a bad set of people because basically they're going against everything he stands for. They're going, and he basically said, like, he's sitting out there lying in front of people saying, oh, he's lowered prices. Well, beef's going up. Well, he said he'd lower grocery prices. Grocery prices haven't been lowered. Grocery prices are going up in a lot of places. And that's what's happening. And it shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be at the whims of spending. Like, if you're America first, to me, America first is you help the American people rather than you help the other countries. That's America first. America first is making sure that everybody has the opportunity to get health care, to making sure that LGBTQ people are getting the care that they need, and making sure that the whole entire America is getting what it needs before it ever gets any help. You know? Like I'm not somebody that's absolutely kind of lazy in a lot of things, but I am, of course. But they basically paint people like me who are on the Medicare, who are pretty much who are on it. Well, guess what? I was on it at one point, on it because, and I was working, but I'm not working on it right now. And then guess what? If it's and you and you look at these things where, you know, and you look at these things where they say that, and then it's like no, but you don't get it. There are a lot of people who are on this that are trying to find a job. Now, of course, there are a lot of things that I could be looking and I just not applying myself, but that I should be making this a point of these things where there are people out there that aren't actively spending their time, aren't looking for these things. Like, I've been trying to find a job that does not involve me working with a lot of people. To be honest, like, it's even to that, it's not and it's just kind of hard when you have to find something that's gonna fit you as well. Like, you can't just be forced into doing something and doing that. It's like and it's just one of those things where it's hard to really see for what's going on, and it's hard to tell what oh, it's hard to tell these days with AI and things going on, that sometimes AI is actually has some good purpose. Like the other day, I think it was like yesterday or the day before. Um, I shared a story about I shared a thing that was created by AI, and this AI thing was basically was showing how Trump, uh, how what Trump is doing now, and that eventually it's going to come down to it takes a cycle of a riot going again against him. There are people that are being burned by him, and then it takes some time to get to the national healing 100 years later. Well, that you know how long are we going to be before we get that national healing? It's going to take a long time, and even then, we're not going to be here probably 100 years. I have this sneaky suspicion that we're not going to be here for longer than maybe we might be here for 100, but that's going to be if. We might be here 50 years. Who knows how long we will be. Um, but if we are here 100 years, it's just us be making sure that, you know, that we face uh we're getting closer to there. This is where I'm going to end it for today, though. Um, and it's going to be one of those things where AI can do a lot of great things. AI can do a lot of bad things. AI can create images that shouldn't be creating real life, that shouldn't be creating images of material that shouldn't be created because it goes against the law, but then yet it's creating it because it can. It's like you go and look at Elon Musk's platform. It's done it before. Finding somebody to, like, if you find a jailbreak within these platforms are gonna have these opportunities to really make these things and show things that it shouldn't really be showing, like on how to make certain things and how to um, do it. And it's like AI can do good if it's done and right, but if somebody finds a way to break the AI, then yeah, I know it telling me not to do that, but I did it anyway. I thought I grabbed enough gas. Am I gonna be late for my delivery by doing this? Because we are gonna make sure that we are fully. Taken care of. And it's one of those things where you have to take that time and actually make it so that you listen, you spend your time studying, and you spend your time just going through and utilizing ground news or newsbreak or smart news. Use an aggregate that can get you all the articles that you want, that you need, and be able to see what's going on, and not just relying on, say, one Google, relying on just TV, because you're not getting. Because, like, if you go and listen to TV as your source and that's all you get, you're not going to get all the stories. You're not going to get your local news from your radio stations or things like that. Like, I don't listen to my radio stations. I only listen to YouTube. I only listen to that, but I do have that news break and those things to get maybe a little bit of my local. To really spend a lot of that time through it. Like, you can look at somebody and say, you can look at one area and you can say, okay, well, what else? What is the left talking about? You have to really, if you are right leaning, you have to look at it from both angles. You cannot just rely on Fox News to tell you everything. You can't just rely on right-leaning commentators to tell you the truth. You have to go and listen. If you see the Ring of Fire, if you see Harry Sisseton, or you see Midas Touch, or anybody from Fox News or Newsmax, or right-leaning commentators going after these people, you have to really go and say, okay, now go and watch what they're saying about this, and listen to them as what they are saying, instead of just saying that this is coming from left leaning, to say that this is just this is the truth, when you gotta think about both sides and not just rely on one. That's why when I look at content, it's like I found somebody else who's similar to like me, who basically, you know, somebody that has things, where I now found somebody that just talks about um, has uh, does debates. Okay, so let's go to system services. Oh, we can purchase another garage, but we're gonna go to trailer. Garage manager. No, the Scania R's is what we're utilizing right now. Let's go check the used truck market and see if we got any Scania R 2009 normal. Yeah, Truck Explorer. Let's do that. I'm looking for the Streamline, truly. And I'm having a hard time trying to find that. So we're gonna go and maybe spend another resting a little bit. We have 10 hours to our next rest stop. Let's see what we got from here. Let's going back that way. Buckaroo. Davenport back to Australia. Um, that's going backwards. Um, there for the lowest. Um, shock absorbers is going a little bit further. And that's, yeah. I think let's take the shock absorbers. We have a little bit of time. We can do this. Um, I did stupid TikTok. Okay. Okay. Because for whatever reason, TikTok did not want to fix the issue. Something happened with it. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, if you did have a message you guys wanted to talk to me about, you guys are gonna have to resend it to me. Because TikTok was basically crashed on my end, on my phone. Normally I don't have it crash that much often, or whatever. But anyway, um, it's one of those things where, you know, the more that you look at the content that you see on a daily basis, like, as somebody who is transgender, like, I listen to a lot of one-sided things when it comes to LGBTQ, because actually it's not. It's more about safety and more about concern about safety for a lot of people. Like, I'm always going to be here to take that consideration on left-leaning people. But look, if you're left-leaning and you're not wanting to support the LGBTQ community, you're moderate left and you're not somebody that I would support anyway. Like, I'm somebody that's moderate left because I have some views on guns that are different than what left people would believe. But I will tell you, I am not somebody that, but I also have some of those things where we should have the Obamacare. Now, it's not perfect, it's not great, um, it's nowhere perfect, nowhere near perfect, but it is going to be as much perfect as we can get it to be, because no system is perfect. No system is going to be there. It's like you go to Canada, try to get a family doctor. Like, you try to go up there and you get a family doctor, you're gonna have this issue of being able to get one. You can't get one in some of those provinces up there. Like, some of these places you can get like a family doctor because there's not a lot going on, but in some places you can't. And in some places there are places where you get your health care, and in other places where their systems are struggling, and these places struggle on a daily basis. And healthcare, it doesn't matter what country you live in, there's going to be some problems faced in every country. Every country is not perfect. Look, Russia's even worse than the United States because right now, I'm saying right now, that doesn't mean that it will be at some point. You look at Russia. Russia is going downhill with LGBTQ. They're starting to take away their rights. They're starting to take away those things. They don't want it. They're starting to take away the area, and it's going downhill for that. There are countries out there that are losing on LGBTQ rights that are problematic. And it's like you can go to Europe and say there's a lot of good countries out in Europe that are great for LGBTQ, but when you look at those countries, how safe, what's the rank of safetiness? It's like I went and looked up Portugal. Like, I wasn't actively looking up Portugal, I should say, but I was looking up, I was watching a video on Portugal, and it talks about the safetiness of Portugal, and it was 7th on a list. And mind you, this is something I didn't look up because I was like, okay, whatever. If I was just like curious, um, and the thing with it is that Portugal actually is number 7th on the list of safe countries. Why does it tell me that I'm going the wrong way? Why is it telling me that I was going the wrong way when I was actually going the right way? You idiots. Ay ay ay. There are some things. Okay, now the speeding offense, I understand that one. But there's a lot of these things where countries have problems with everything. There's countries out there that are absolutely fantastic place to go and live, but there are places where I've kind of really looked into living into countries like Malta, and I don't think I would really want to live in Malta, to be honest, because I don't really want to live in a country that I have to it feels like it's always going to be constantly hot in that country, and I don't want to live in a place like that. And I'm also going to tell you, like, it's not in any way, shape, or form am I going to listen to wanting to move there now. Not because of the political climate. Like, the politics there is, like, fantastic. Love, like, the country is fantastic. I just don't think I want to live there. And it's the same thing where Iceland. It's like I would love to live in Iceland, but I can't get myself to go over to Iceland. Because, you know, I'm not, like, it's going to be hard to get into Iceland unless you're acting like a video game designer, which then, even then, like, I don't think I could even be able to make it into the video game space, because, to be honest, like, I have just musical talent, a little bit. Like, I can mix things and do things like that, and I can do level design a little bit, like, but I don't think I could necessarily literally that. And you know, but you know, it's going into Iceland and say, you know, you want to go to Iceland, it's not like you can just automatically just get a visa, get yourself into the citizenship and become Icelandic. You have to be married to somebody who's Icelandic. You have to be there, and that's one of the harder countries to get into. It's really one. Another thing is that that is in my thing is, you know, going into a country is like, I want to be able to just have the ability to wear a variety of clothes, being able to have the freedom to not be so tied down into wearing, like, oh, I want to wear winter gear. Sometimes I want to be able to wear summer gear. I am actively, like, I am somebody that likes both winter and summer, and I love them both. The only problem I don't like about summer is the heat, is like the humidity, like the mugginess. And winter I don't like it is because of the heaviness of the snow. But that's okay. I can deal with it. I can live with it, and you know, but I just love snow, and I love the cold too sometimes, and I love being hot and all this, and it's just fantastic. And that's why I can live where I'm at, where I feel like Like right now, it's like 50 degrees outside and rainy. Like that's great. It's like it feels like fall to me. Like we're in the fall weather. Um, and and to be honest, we do have seasons. It's just more or less you get. It's mostly really um winter and construction out here, because where I live, it in Minnesota. It's like winter construction, and I don't mind the thing is, like, I don't drive anyways in real life. Like, I could drive in a video game, and I still have speeding offenses because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Um, and this is just a game. I don't think I can really naturally drive. And I cannot see from here. I cannot see down this road as well as probably some other people can. Like I have to pay attention to the route monitor because my eyes are just um, so bad for it. And that's kind of the thing. Um, and it's also kind of one of those things where, I don't want to live in a country that's going to ostracize people for being LGBTQ. I don't want to live in a country that's taking away your freedom to speak your mind in your country. Like, that's kind of why right now it's like the United States is kind of coming that way. And and I don't want to actively be pushed um into these things where I just want to be me, and I just don't want to, like, I do want to have some, like, I know I'm willing, I'm going to have to learn, I have to change. I have to change some things about my life. I will tell you, like, there are some things that I need to change, but being being transgender is not one of those things. There are a lot of things that I will not change, and that's one of them. There's only a couple others that I won't actively change, but um, being able to mostly being able to wear what I want to wear, um, and that's it. Like, those are the two things that are truly are the only two things that um, you know what, I'm gonna keep the Australia, but I don't think I'm gonna go back to Australia for myself. I will still have like my company down there. But one of the things that really gets me a lot of the times is, and that's the thing, is like being able to speak in freely. It's like why I wouldn't live in Russia. It's why I wouldn't live here in America. In the sense of Trump's idea, in Trump's land. Um, like I don't want to be living in a country that in UK that's stifling the freedom of their speech. I wouldn't want to live in Canada. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in Canada if I had to. Like if I had to live in some of the in Canada, I wouldn't mind it, but as much. But it's like the only thing is like if I moved to a country like Canada, or I moved to another country and I had to give up my Mountain Dew, I'd give it up in a heartbeat. I would give up my sugary drinks if I had to, just to live, just to survive. I don't care. Like that's one of those things where food, like if I had to change the way I eat, great, fine, I'll do it. But I'm not gonna go out and completely just change everything about my life. Like those are the only two things that like I said, being able to sit here and be able to, you know, sitting here right now, I'm wearing a mini skirt uh, and 9-inch platforms right now. Um, why am I wearing 9-inch platforms in the house? Because I just want to. And that's kind of the thing that I want, is I also sometimes want to be able to just wear a snowsuit in the house, or be able to wear you know, a lot of the those things. Those are the only things that I really um now of course I'm also wearing um leggings with it as well. But it's like I want to be able to just wear whatever I want to wear and not be so um, constrained to be wearing uh, what people suggest I should be wearing. And thank you guys for joining the TikTok live. Um, Thanks Jarl Mara RH for joining the TikTok live, if I'm pronouncing that right. I know that I didn't catch everybody's over there because I'm trying to pay attention to the road as much as I can. Um, So, but it's one of those things where it's very difficult to really see on a level of seeing things that are situated in life. Whoa, hello. Sorry, yeah, that's why I try to pay attention to the road as much as I can. But it's like I listen and I pay attention to what's being done and worldly. Like I sit there and I look at LGBTQ stuff. The LGBTQ is the only thing that I will actively pay attention to the most when it comes to transgender, when it comes to gay, lesbian, bi. You want to learn, you want to learn about the LGBTQ community. You can learn, you can grow and understand that, you know, I'm not going to sit here and ostracize somebody for being gay. I don't care what religion you belong to. I don't care if you're whatnot. I literally, I don't care. That really shouldn't be a light there, to be honest. Should really be like a stop sign in a game like this. But I'll tell you, it's like I don't actively go out and listen to um I'm just doing this today because I'm not really uh really wanting to do a lot of things. Um you gotta actively think about what is going on in your daily life and make it so that, you know, like make it so that people have the right to exist for who they are. Like I'm not gonna, like, if you're like, there's two things. It's like this is a, like, you have freedom of speech, like you have that right here in America, but a business like, if you're going to tell me that an LGBTQ person does not have the right in your store to bake a cake for you, then that means another business has every right to denounce you for wearing a MAGA hat. Okay, and that's me. It's like, if you're gonna sit here and you're going to complain, we're gonna see where this goes. But before we do go any further, we're gonna save the game. We're gonna be right off of this. Thanks, Kiara, for joining the TikTok live. It's gonna be live. 10/27/2025. Okay, look at there. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep, we're not gonna go off the... Yeah, I would have put that barrier there. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me though. I'm gonna get off a little bit earlier today than I normally would. We're gonna save it. We will come back tomorrow figuring out things. We can do this while we're here. Let's go to Garage Manager. Let's go and extend your upgrade. Up there. That's the DAF truck. This is the Scania R. Scania R normal is what we got for this one. Let's go to services. I mean, truck manage. No. Let's go to truck manager. Top line. 6x2 tag lift. 12x2. Stick to standard. Maddie's trucking. Put the stock V8. It'll confirm that, and then right now it is still there. Now, of course, we're gonna come down here. We're going to copy this configuration. Down here. And we now have another driver available for us. So let's go to driver mandate. No services, recruitment agency. M, oh, so far Rebecca's got a good, decent record. G. Let's see. Rebecca F seems pretty good right now. But you lift, you're hired because you got that ordinance. And I have to go all the way down over here. Because I always want to make sure that my drivers start off with having that eco driving a little bit. So that's what we did there. So now we have that there will save our game. Where are you at? We're gonna go here. We'll save there. Now, the other one is the DAF. Now the DAF, to fill in, we're not, actually I was gonna get off, we're not gonna go to career, go to services. The other one's the DAF. Now, the DAF we're gonna buy online. My fleet configuration. The DAF XF Superspace. Where you at? We can purchase you there, and now let's go to services, recruitment, and alright, you're going down there, buddy. Alright. Okay. Now, we do need to go get some saving done. We're gonna go down here and get some saving. I think what I might just do is We'll just go from here. We'll save this, guys. We'll get off. Because I don't want to drive for any too longer. Anyways, if you guys are enjoying yourselves here on the TikTok Trovo, you name the stream TikTok or Trovo is free to follow. It is free to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure that when you do subscribe on YouTube, you hit that bell notification with all. And if you're watching here on Trovo and you want to help out a little bit, you guys can do that by sending gifts through TikTok or subscribing on Trovo to get my past live streams when I put them behind a paywall, or some cute cat emotes, or if you guys are on YouTube, other ways you guys can do is just by sharing out the stream on all these platforms as well, sharing out the past live stream on YouTube, getting things out and to people. Remember, we didn't get into a lot onto Trump. Mostly we just got on to talking about the Japan situation that was going on with a couple of creators, and Trump being a dick, and still being a dick to this day. And showing you that can we get away from it? We'll have to wait and see. Will we still be able to in the next election? Will we be able to get out of it in 2028? That's the key, is will we be able to? And if we cannot do that, then I have no idea what's gonna happen. But anyway, I just know that, that if you want to see a lot of that, you can always watch Midas Touch, watch me, get some more understanding on some of those things. But anyway, or David Backman, Ring of Fire, Brian Tyler Cohen, Tennessee Brando, Jesse Dollamore. You pick your few of those people, and you guys can go and check them out. But anyway,